Space. The final frontier. Mankind's greatest accomplishment. Being able to leave Earth and explore the vast unknown, the cosmos, an infinite, never-ending, endless amount of vastness, space, where man was created by stars, allegedly. What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel, and I want to talk to you guys about how space is so fake. It is the fakest thing. That is one of the biggest lies that we've been taught in our generation. And I know that's really insane to say. I mean, pretty much our whole society revolves around watching someone go like space, or some space movies, or like sci-fi, or history books, or future goals of mankind, where we're gonna go. But I'm telling you guys that it's a lie. And when I was a kid, everyone was talking during their class in the school, right? We're in school, and I'm talking about grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, like little kid stuff, yo. And when they came to, even before that, actually, I remember preschool and stuff like that, when they talked about space, oh yeah, I was the one I was the one memorizing the planets and the orders they were in, and each planet's unique properties and makeup. And I'm just saying that I believed in space so much. I believed in it so much that I would tell my mother and father, I would tell them, guys, you guys taught me about Jesus Christ and God making the earth, but the truth is that the earth is really, really old, and scientists have been saying that this, and space is this old, etc., etc. I would just keep repeating to them, like, kind of mocking what they believe. Like, that's what the school system puts us through. As soon as we go through the school system, we lose all religion. Because you put a bunch of people in the same room and teach them the same thing to believe the same thing. Anyone who believes in something different, they're going to be made fun of or ridiculed. So, I mean, they're going to say, hey, this guy doesn't believe it because the scientist said he believes it, and he's like a genius, like he studied this stuff. Our society is so brainwashed. Like, if you don't have some degree in some field, if you don't have some opinion on the subject, forget about it. And I just want to say that the first scientists back in the day, like Thomas Edison and Benjamin Franklin and all those people, I don't know, I'm not familiar with all the scientists, but all those people, they weren't scientists when they were figuring that stuff out. Every new science starts from the fringe. It never starts from within. And nowadays, the student bodies are only interested in what the peer-reviewed paper says. They don't care about the scientific method or going through the steps to see themselves what proves what, or what tests prove what, or what experiments prove what evidence, what proposed evidence, right? They just need the peer-reviewed paper. And we can just go through it now, because like I said, I love space. I loved it. I really believed in it, guys. I really believed in it. Flying through space, having our planet circle around the sun, different planets, life, obvious life, because life would be guaranteed in such a vast amount of space and time. It's 13 billion miles across, and you know, etc. There's bound to be life out there, and that's what space promotes. Is also alien life, which makes us not special, which means that if there was a God from the Bible, he was talking about a savior for man on Earth. But how about other planets? Would they have their own Messiah? There are a lot of questions that are brought up once the mainstream space model is brought up. But I want to tell you guys that if we go back to it, if you go back to learning about space and learning about all the things they taught us, I want to say that they don't have anything. It doesn't hold water. Nothing. They have no evidence for space, and everything they've done has been a sham. Now I'm like 31 now, and I went back into it when I was 22, I think. 23, I believe. I think I was 23. I just finished. I was working in a pet store, and you know what I was looking forward to? I was looking forward to playing Destiny. I was looking forward to playing. I was reading up about playing Destiny and playing that fantasy that they feed us from the movies and TV, that we want to be free, we want to be away from Earth, in space, flying around in our ship, having our own freedom, being whoever we want to be. You know what I mean? That's what we've been brainwashed to be like, and probably maybe we were born like that. I mean, we are born in sin. I mean, no one teaches a child to lie. They just lie by themselves, right? So we all have sin. We're born inherently, I wouldn't say evil, but with malice, right? That's why we need Jesus Christ to be saved. And I'm going to go through the science and say there's no such thing as space, and go through all the things that I went through and saw that made me doubt and maybe think, hey, there actually is no space. That they lied about everything, that we are at the center of the universe. So, first of all, like, when you think about space is a vacuum, and there's nothing in it. It's just a void. It has there is no oxygen, no atmosphere, no nothing. It's just a lack of anything, and there's no pressure, and you can't have a pressurized system, which is Earth. You can't have a pressurized system beside a vacuum. It's impossible, because the vacuum would just suck out all of the atmosphere and disperse it, and all the gases would be spread out evenly across the infinite plane that would be pretty much space. But we don't see that, though. And then they always say that, I think they say their magic answer is gravity. That gravity is so powerful, it holds all of the atmosphere to the rock, and the rock is spinning, and it has a molten iron core. But there are so many tests that have been done that prove that the Earth is not moving. Like, if you set up a camera and do a star trail test and just watch the sky, you'll see that the stars actually spin around Polaris. Polaris is the North Star, and it's been maintained in fixed alignment with the Earth since the beginning of time. And they say that there's no parallax detected between it, meaning that it's supposed to be light years away, and if the most slightest shift between the Earth and that star would cause a misalignment. But we've not detected anything. They're perfectly aligned and fixed with one another, because the truth is the stars spin and the Earth does not move. There is no gravity. And like, how I started waking up is I saw a video actually of a camera going independent high altitude balloon, helium balloon, weather balloon flight, and the camera was looking at the sun, and I could see the sun. It was very local, and it looked to me like it was lighting up the clouds only close to it, and it was right above the clouds actually, and it appeared to be, the camera went about 25,000 feet, And I don't know how many miles that would be, but I'm just saying, I think the sun is within our atmosphere. The sun is smaller and local, about 30 miles across in diameter, and I don't know how many thousands of kilometers high. I don't know. Some people say 5,000 miles, some people say higher. The camera was 25,000 feet. Oh, 125,000 feet, right? So yeah, it could be a few thousand miles up. And so is the moon. And the moon is the same size as the sun, and they say it's just coincidence that the moon is smaller than the Earth and closer, and the sun is larger than the Earth and further away. Now, if you take the mathematics, you can actually get both models to work out the same way, correlating to our reality. If you took, like, example, they have that story about how Aristophanes, he got the height. He figured out that the Earth was a ball, but that's not true. He just figured out the circumference of the sun, the path that it takes, and then he got a general idea of the Earth's size, which is a flat plane, circular realm surrounded by ice. Let me just describe this realm. So it's a flat plane. It is ocean and surrounded by ice. It is a flat plane realm of unknown size. Yeah, we don't know how far it goes out beyond. Only the government militaries of the world, the top brass and the elites of the world, they know how far it goes. But I know that they probably detected the edge of it. It's probably like a metallic, reflective, mirror-like barrier, energy-like, impregnable, unbreakable. And I think the sky is blue because it reflects the oceans and the ice. And that's why we get that's why mountains are blue in the distance. It's not because of refraction, and blue is the one that the color that gets scattered the most. Like, I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just saying, like, from what I've been studying, this is what I've come to the conclusion to, that at the center, if your north compass, you follow the north compass, you follow where your compass points, it will head to the center of the flat plane realm, which is where the aurora borealis sprouts from. There's a metallic mountain there. I heard there are rivers that sprout from this area, and there are 4 rivers that sprout from here, and there is a magnetic black rock mountainous area, and also a hole which the aurora borealis sprouts from. And I don't know about Rahu, I don't know about the black sun, if that exists or not, but I know there's the sun and the moon for sure, just like the Bible states. And I don't really think it's New Age stuff. I think it's biblical because of more things I'll state later. And if you have a magnet, there's a southern and a northern, like if you have a double, like our Earth is supposed to be like a double, what's it called? A bipolar magnet, like it has 2 polar ends, southern and northern. So both of them are magnetically polarized. Both of them you could bring a magnet to, and once you bring the magnet towards them, it would start attracting to the one it's closer to. So if you're closer to the north, it's going to go to the north. If you're closer to the south, it should attract to the south. But how come our compasses do not point south when we go south? Because there is no South Pole, guys. No one has ever been to the South Pole. If they ever have a South Pole area to go there and venture, it's just a tourist attraction. It's not really the South Pole. It's just something they set up. But the South Pole doesn't exist because it is the whole outer perimeter of the flat plane realm. Now you can fly, you can circumnavigate the globe. You just go in a big circle. And that's what those old ice polar expeditions were doing. They just kept circling, and they kept saying, hey, there's ice wall, we can't get past it. They just kept circling. Damn, I feel bad for those guys. Hey, who knew, eh? They couldn't even imagine that was the edge of the earth. That they would have to climb over that to keep going. They couldn't find any way through it. And beyond it, it's just darkness. Nothing will grow. And I think if you go to the very edge, you'll find the 4 corners of the earth with the 4 angels watching. There are 4 angels allegedly watching the corners of the earth. Now back to space, I've seen a lot of the main things that brought me towards flat earth and space fakery is because of NASA fakery. Now if you find the Flat Earth Brothers channel on YouTube and search for their most popular video, the Flat Earth NASA fakery compilation video by the Flat Earth Brothers channel, or also you search the Potter's Clay channel or UAP channel, Underrated Astrophysicist channel, or Mr. Thrive and Survive channel. There are so many good ones. I have A Call for an Uprising, but he's mostly about the Hollywood exposals, Hollywood satanic ritualistic exposal, Taboo Conspiracy. Eric Dubay is the one who founded, I think, the beginning. He found that book, Zetetic Cosmogony, and he's the one who discovered that there was science behind flat earth. There actually was reasoning, and the science that we've been taught is mumbo jumbo gibberish magical stuff that we just have to imagine everything, but there's no evidence behind it. So hang on, let me get my manual. Okay guys, so when we see live rocket launches curve whenever any shuttle launches from the earth. Do you guys ever notice that it doesn't go straight up? It just curves. And that's because they don't want you to know that there's a barrier there. And if they went straight up, it would go boom. So they curved the rocket way out. And it lands in the Bermuda Triangle. And they made some nonsense bullshit about that place being dangerous, so no one goes through there. But it's like it sucks down ships, right? Magnetic bullshit, right? But really, they just don't want you to find that stuff there. And it's these elite billionaire and trillionaires, man. They've literally monopolized everything, and they've pretty much monopolized, and they've already monopolized the health industry. They monopolized the media, Hollywood. They created Hollywood through the CIA, to cast spells over the minds of the masses, because Hollywood is made of the wood of the wand of a wizard, and that's what these people are: warlocks, wizards, and witches. And they've been using movies and media to make magic look kind of fun and cute, even though there is real magic, like satanic magic, black magic. And yeah, let's just say that straight up these people have been using the media to deceive us, and they created the space bullshit lie to make us doubt God and the Creator. Because Satan, they do these rituals. There's one trillionaire family, a bunch of billionaires, a bunch of multimillionaires, a bunch of puppets that work for them, that want to be rich, that just do whatever they want because they want money. You know, I don't care how much money you pay me. If I saw something fishy going down, I'd be fucking out of there, ratting them out or something, exposing that shit. I wouldn't be like shutting my mouth, okay? But that's what a lot of these people do. And you have to remember that NASA, they compartmentalize everything. They say, hey, we're going to build a rocket. Hey, you in Tennessee, you build the thrusters. Hey, you over there in Utah, you guys build the freaking power components. You guys over there in, hey, California, why don't you guys build the circuit boards? And, you know what I mean? They do that so no one knows the whole picture. And if you look at everything deeply, watch, like, the NASA Mars lunar lander thruster testing. Like they had the rover was gonna land on the moon. It was gonna like deploy a thruster so it doesn't smash itself on the ground. And just watch the test. It's embarrassing. It's like a joke. It's like dun, 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 dun. I have a video making fun of it, but it's like a joke. Like everything, and then the things that they say, like they say Don Pettit. He said, the astronaut. He said we can't go back to the moon. Or you see, you watch the videos and they actually are in a pool. You see bubbles in the background. Like I know that if you're in space and you see any debris, those should be micrometeorites flying by, like bullet holes. But also watching, like the astronauts, how they act. I remember I was watching videos about how the astronauts, they were, when they came, before they went to the moon, they were so like excited and bullshitting, and then after they came back to the interview, they were so nervous and they looked so off, and you could just tell they were lying. And I think even now some of the older astronauts like Buzz Aldrin and the other guys, they've been saying stuff like Neil Armstrong, they've all said some stuff like cryptic stuff, like saying they pretty much are admitting they never went. It was a bullshit lie. Like Buzz Aldrin said that they never went. Neil Armstrong said that he said something about, he was reading some speech to some students and he said some cryptic thing like, I can't remember, it was really cryptic. It was like, you guys have to find the truth of the matter, something like that. And yeah, I mean, to live with that lie your whole life, damn, must be a pain in the ass. What lie have I lived my whole life, right? I don't want to be a liar. Probably some small lie, right? But yeah, this is how I thought space was. Like, we could actually go out there. We can't. That nothing they show us is actually a physical place we could go to or land on. Like, they're all like lights. They're just lights. Like, you can't go on them. Like, the moon is a holographic light. Like, I've seen it myself. The YouTuber Theoria Hypothesis, the dumb genius, he's a dumbass genius. He's stupid, but he thinks he's so smart. But he's smart, but he's stupid actually, because he thinks he knows there's no gravity. He pretty much discovered what electricity is, and what actually magnetism is, by studying Nick Dollard and being a genius. But also he's rejected God, and he's studied the mystery religions. He's studied Jewish mysticism. He's went through secret societies, and he's completely thinking he's some kind of genius guru. He knows the world doesn't work through dualities, and there is no real dualities, because darkness is not the opposite of light, because light is something. Darkness is the absence of anything, right? Darkness is the absence of light. So you can't, how can nothing be the opposite of light, right? The opposite should be the opposite, you know what I mean? Like good and evil, and something apparent like that. And like, I've videotaped stars and I've seen them, and I've videotaped the moon, and I actually videotaped the phenomenon, the lunar wave phenomenon, which is it shows that the moon is a hologram. Like, it actually shows that the moon has kind of like a rendering line, and it does sound kind of incredulous, but if you look at my channel and other channels, search for the lunar wave phenomenon. There's only about, like, I don't know, 20 to 50 people who've ever filmed it, and I've been one of them. But I worked hard for it. I looked for 6 to 9 months, I think, out in the cold almost every day. I mean, trying to go every day when it was clear, and finally I didn't think it was gonna happen, but I finally got it. And it happened 3 times in one night. And what I was saying was about theory or hypothesis. Was that he won't admit the Earth's flat, but he pretty much says that he videotaped the moon and it gives off a cold light. The moon is supposed to reflect the sun's light. Why would reflecting the sun's light be making it cool? It should intensify it actually, but it's showing that the moon emanates its own light. That is, we are living in an electromagnetic realm. We are bio-batteries, electronic bio-batteries. We are like a remote. We're like a walkie-talkie, a ham radio. We can give off we are tuned into our own frequency because our frequency is our soul, our spirit that's outside of our body, connected by some silver cord. The umbilical cord is what we are connected to as a baby to our mother. But the silver cord, or to the fetus, but the silver cord is what our soul or spirit is connected to our body. And when that cord is severed, we die. And I feel like I'm in that episode of Black Mirror. The one where the video game, like you choose your own ending. What was the name of it called? Anyway, so after scrutinizing NASA, I've seen videos of scuba divers, seriously a scuba tank in their like ISS open hatched, like they had an open hatch, and I saw like a little piece of a scuba tank and a scuba diver, and while the astronaut was outside. And then the astronauts never act scared when they're like talking about going outside, doing spacewalk. They just laugh about it like it's a huge joke. Like they should be terrified about it. It's like this thing's going around the Earth like 17,000 miles per hour or per second or something like that. I don't know what ridiculous thing, but and they're just like they could fly away into space forever. And it's just like how, like when you think about it deeply, guys, I know the stars, there's no atmosphere, so they say that doesn't hinder light to travel, but how does light travel from so far? Like we can't even see a car driving down the street, down the highway, like 20 miles down the road. How are you supposed to see a star light years away? This is ridiculous, guys. Come on. Wake up. They're lying to us. The constellations haven't changed in thousands of years. And the Buddhist sign, the swastika that was hijacked by the Nazis, do you guys know the meaning of this symbol? This is the symbol of the Big Dipper circling Polaris 4 times each year. In each part of the season, it's circled, right? So that means it never changes. That sign means that the stars circle us, and they are never changing. They're the same, and we are the center of the universe. The WM map that NASA always shows in the textbooks, that shows radiation leaving, dispersing into the universe after the Big Bang. That is showing the scientists peering through one half of our flat Earth dome and the other half of our flat Earth dome sky. And they are looking outward and seeing the radiation leaving from the center of the universe, us, scattering throughout the universe. And I just feel like I want everyone to know what I'm talking about. Like space. There is no space, guys. There is no space. Like I look at stars in the sky, and they're different colors. I remember I was looking at this. Is it Polaris? I think it might be Polaris or Sirius. No, Sirius is blue actually. Whoops. Let me just see. Polaris. Let me just see here. Which star is it? Oh, it's Sirius, yeah. So Sirius is a giant, massive star. It's supposed to be a binary star, and it's a multicolored flashing star, and it's the same. When I look at it through my powerful zoomed camera, I have a very powerful Nikon P900 super zoom camera that can zoom so far, and I can see from the bottom. I'm living down by the river, and I can look up the mountain. I can see skiers, people skiing. Crazy, eh? So straight up, this camera, I've been looking at the stars and the moon. That's how I got the footage of the moon, looking at the stars, and each star is different. I've been looking at them for years, and they're all different. And when Sirius goes through my star camera, it's all multicolored and flashing. But then now that I notice it, I look at it through on a clear night, and I see it in the sky. It's multicolored flashing. It's like, it is that. It is actually like that. I think they're like mountain sized. They're thousands of kilometers away from us. They're all circling us. They're like lights God made. They're for all the signs of seasons, right? Like a clock. Now, as for the flat Earth, there are a lot of things that prove the Earth is flat, and that space is fake. Now, NASA faking everything is pretty good, but seeing things like seeing objects further than we should be. Why do we see objects further than we should? Or flat water. Water goes flat. Water always goes level. You can take those water levels, construction levels. They have one for every axis, X, Y, Z axis. One up, one upright, one left horizontally on the ground, one diagonally. And you take that on a plane, lay it flat on your lap, and go for the round trip flight. Those things are never going to go anywhere. They're going to stay the same exactly because we're flying over a flat plane realm. Okay, seen it done already. Seen it done. The sun, the way it moves, the sun rays, like, oh my god, it's just so obvious. The moon proves the Earth's flat. The stars prove the Earth's flat. NASA's lying proves the Earth's flat. Weather patterns using nullschool.net before and after. So this was a website that actually changed because someone threatened the owner to get rid of the flat Earth map. But it's like shows every map that ever was conceived except for the flat Earth map now. And then it shows the live weather patterns, and it just made so much sense on a flat Earth, man. We could see the circular pattern, everything making sense completely. Government secret societies, I don't know why I wrote that. Probably because they're a bunch of fucking liars, that's why. And flight patterns using online live flight tracking equipment. I mean, tracking websites. We know the Earth's flat. Okay. Ancient maps. Fuck, people were making maps before they could fly, and you know, just because they couldn't fly, they knew more. You know, I bet you the average person back then knew more about natural science more than you guys. So who knows what the average guy Joe knew about? We know more lies than truth, honestly. So how can we even criticize anyone back in the day? So ancient maps prove they're flat. Okay. History and legends. Yeah. We know that. Let me see. The independent high altitude footage proof. Watching the documentary called A Little Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. It's a documentary proving that NASA faked the whole moon landing Apollo moon mission. Okay, it's already done. It's gone. It's exposed. A little thing happened on the way to the moon. It's already happened. Exposed. The shadows and the lighting and that. Oh man. Nikola Tesla, he knew this was an electromagnetic plane realm. And even Einstein, he actually was admitting during the end of his life that he lied to everyone, and that he stole, that Nikola Tesla knew more about the truth, and he was trying to tell everyone, but no one cared. Okay, so let's see. So like, okay, if you're looking at the sun, right, and it's setting, it's going down to the ground. It looks like it's going down to that line that meets the sky. You know that line in the distance when you go to the beach? There's a line that meets, when you look straight out, it looks like it's meeting the water. That's called the horizon. When the sun goes past that, do you think it's going over a curve? Do you think the ball Earth is turning? The truth is, the sun is just going straight out there, way out beyond your vision. Because if you lay down flat on a field on your stomach, and you have, it's like a football field, anywhere, a flat field, and your friend walks away from you, you're gonna see that his feet start disappearing, and then his body disappears, and then he disappears completely if he walks further out enough. Now, did he go over some hill in the field? No. It's just that your perspective changed. The eyes are very interesting devices that God designed. They're biconvex lenses, and they catch information through a cone shape. Now, if we are at a different angle, we might miss data. Like example, if a boat is out on the horizon, the reason we don't see the bottom is because the light that is hitting that and supposed to reflect to our eye, that information, that data is meeting the ocean. It's coming back to us and hitting our feet, so we're not able to see it. It's like people say that if you go to a beach and you see the sunset and you jump to your stomach and you see the sunset, you can see the sunset again. It's because you're seeing it go over the curve. I remember they said that was the proof of the ball earth, but that's bullshit. That's proof of a flat earth, guys. Because when Aristophanes, he used his mathematics and he figured out the circumference of the earth using the sun rays, the sun over the sky of a well, and then he used that he determined that it was straight over that place because the light went straight down to the well, and made a perfect reflection in the sunlight, in the water, in that well. So then he knew that in one other part of the same time of the day, in another city, it created an angle somewhere in some pole made an angle. So he determined, using that angle, he made a triangle, and he used trigonometry, and he figured out the height of the sun and the circumference of the earth. Now, with those mathematics, you could make the earth, you could make the sun small and close, or you make the sun giant and farther away. Mathematics is not the best answer because it just describes things. It does not tell us anything. It's great at describing things, but it doesn't tell us anything. So I've seen videos of the sun starting out as a little spot of light. You can ask me if you want me to send it to you. I can send it to you as a little prick of light, and gets bigger and bigger and bigger, comes to you. And always the atmospherics, guys. If there's a haze, if there's chemtrails, if the government is spraying stuff in the sky, which they always are, because they always want to distort this. They always want to distort how the sun looks like. I think that's why they're doing it. So they want to distort how the sun looks, and they want to poison the earth and the soil for their Monsanto farm project, seed corporation, seed patenting project, bastards. I wish I could just get my blade on some of these people's necks. This world's so fake. This world is so fake. I don't understand people. Now, let's just talk about the truth in terminology. The word meaning. So, horizon, horizontal line. Airplane, they fly over a plane. Hemisphere, the sky is half a sphere, a dome. Government, Latin root word. Mind control. Sea level. Do I even need to say that one? Tools that for use, designed for use on a plane. Astrolabe. Antikytherium mechanism. A nautical sextant. A mechanical gyroscope. And water levels, construction water levels with liquid in them. Now, gravity is bullshit, we already know that. Perspective, yeah. So when we see things, guys, we see things kind of like in a triangle. So everything's gonna come towards the center. So, in other words, when you see a plane, like a jet, when you see a jet and they fly over you and they look like they're flying down, and they're not going to crash to the ground. They're just flying way out to the horizon. Has that jet fighter started changing his altitude? No, he's still flying straight. But it looks like he's flying at an angle because of our perspective. And that's the same thing that happens with the sun. So, all of the ancient people, they were more intelligent than us. They were like geniuses. And all of them knew more about mathematics, astronomy, natural science, medicine probably, stuff we don't know about, plants. Architecture, construction, we don't even know how to build some of the stuff they build. We found these balls that are all around Costa Rica, these stone spheres, and they don't know where they came from, but they're just like these perfectly stone spheres, and they're perfectly like molded, and they don't know how they made them. And it's like they don't know how a lot of these structures were made because they don't want to study they don't want to reevaluate everything they know, because that's the only way you guys are going to get the answers to any of your fucking questions about history is if you reevaluate everything you know. Okay, after the flood, it was just a few people, they were geniuses, and they freaking had kids, and they repopulated the earth, and they rebuilt everything. That's why all these civilizations came out of fucking nowhere. You know, but they don't want to admit that. They don't want to admit that everything they knew is a lie. Everything they know is garbage. So if these ancient people knew more about that stuff, why can't we take their faith? Why don't we trust them about flat earth? They all knew the earth was flat. They all knew that there was a physical firmament, a barrier, a sky. The Greeks believed it was a bronze ceiling. I believe the Greeks believed it to be made of a reflective bronze material. Okay. I believe the firmament to be a silver mirror-like energy physical-like barrier that's opaque, possibly. May have a separate layer behind it containing the stars, or the stars might be attached to them. Now I know that sounds strange, but you better wake the fuck up, because everything you know is a lie. If you guys believe in that, a couple terrorists from Afghanistan hijacked 757 Boeings with a freaking box cutter and flew it into Twin Towers, and they dissolved, like they vaporized. you're nuts out of your mind. And then they found their passports on the ground. You're fucking bonkers nuts. Okay, and if you trust the government, even though none of the presidents have ever talked about this lie, then you should realize that all the presidents are hiding the same truth. Okay, but you can't destroy the truth. You can only hide it. Because what is true, and what is true has happened. There's nothing can be changed about that. Now let's continue our lesson. What are rainbows created by? Rainbows are beautiful and can be artificially replicated indoors by using a light source with a mirror and a dish of water. By placing the mirror, with a light source actually, and a mirror and a dish of water. By placing the mirror underneath the water's surface and shining the light on it, one may be able to create a small rainbow inside, but it's gonna resemble that. The shape will be of the medium of the mirror. So any mirror you use, the rainbow will be of that shape. So can you imagine a rainbow of a bow? Wow, a bow rainbow. What could that be the shape of? Now, if we can make a rainbow inside using a light source, water, and a mirror, then we can make... I've seen rainbows outside. I've been playing outside when I was a kid. I remember I was playing outside and the water was sprinkling, the sprinkler, and the sun. It was sunny days. Those are great days. I remember those beautiful days. No stress, no nonsense, bullshit, lies, crap, women, stuff to think about. Just playing and being a kid. I remember seeing beautiful rainbows in front of me. And how can we make rainbows in front of us like that? So we have the light source, the sun. We have the water, that's the sprinkler. But where is the mirror? Where is the mirror coming from? That's the flat earth, my friend. That's the dome sky, the dome firmament. Busted. Boom. Okay, I already talked about the moon with you guys. NASA fakery I talked about. There's a lot of NASA fakery. Wow. It's even continued on the next page. Continued on page 226. The horizon in perspective. Yeah, I got a lot. This book's coming out soon, guys. I hope you guys support it and buy it. I'll let you know. Flight patterns. Okay, airplanes in general prove the Earth is flat. Like, if you guys think about it, an airplane flies straight, right? And if the Earth is a ball spinning, I mean, let's just take out the spin because that's gonna get even more retarded. But if we just take the Earth's flying, the plane is flying over a ball. If it just flies straight, it's gonna get higher altitude because the ground is curving down. If you live on a ball, everything around you is going to be slowly, gradually, eventually curving downhill because everything on a ball curves away from you. If you're at any point, every point curves away from you because that's how a ball works. So if we see the boats disappearing on the horizon that way, how come, like, okay, there was this one bridge, it was called Lake Pontchartrain, and they always have this picture of this like bridge that's like curving, or these like electrical thing, I don't know what, the power lines or something, they're like curving, but they showed the curve on the XYZ axis, no, sorry, on the XY axis, but not the ZY axis. It doesn't make sense. If they're gonna be curving one way, they should curve the other way too. A ball would curve. You would see the curve on the horizon too, but we don't only see the boats disappearing one way, so it doesn't even make sense. Like, so stupid. You guys are like brainwashed like to the core, and I'm trying to de-brainwash you because I was like that too, guys. I was the same way. So like airplanes, so if it was flying over a flat plane realm, I mean a ball Earth, it's gonna get higher and higher and higher unless he starts turning, unless he starts manually pulling the nose down, right? But all flight pilots, they know they don't fly, they don't start like pulling their nose down. They know they just fly straight over it. And I think I heard some pilots, it was Donald Trump actually, but I'm sure other pilots would agree that there's no shortcuts on a flat plane of Earth, so they have to fly back the same way they flew from. And that's what Donald Trump said, and I heard other people say that too. I mean, I've heard another pilot say that too. But he was noticing the same thing, like, and everything's so flat, and they can see things for so far, and they want us to believe in this garbage. But the truth is, like, they would say, why would you want us to believe in this? Because if you believe in this, then you guys believe that you can be, like, meet another alien that has higher technology, and that he can help you become more powerful. And if you can be more powerful, you can eventually become godlike. And that's the same lie that Satan taught in the Garden of Eden. And everything is a lie. Like, we were taught evolution when we were kids. We were taught that we could become godlike, that we were animals and we've evolved and we're so powerful and smart, and look at how smart we are, and everyone in college is so much smarter than me, and everyone else, and everyone in university is smarter than those guys, and everyone who's a doctor and a scientist, they must be boom geniuses. And damn, like, we can't question those people. That's why they always say scientists have now discovered that we can now crawl on our hands and knees and avoid the Kung Flu 19er disease. And I bet you everyone would be crawling on their hands and knees to avoid it, because that's how dumb everyone is. Yeah, living in really dumb times. Let's continue. Just nothing about space makes sense. Nothing about space makes sense. There's no up and down. There's no left and right. I've heard scientists say that if there's another planet, like say there's one planet that's light years away, like at the end of the universe, say it's at 13.6 billion years away, and the light, it's 13.7, but now let's just say 13.6 billion light years away, and we're at the 1 billion light years away. I heard that this is what scientists said. They said that if you are due to light, red and blue shift, I don't know if this has something to do with it, but if you walk the other way, okay, if I walk away from the planet, the planet that's away from me, 13.6 billion light year planet, it will be the past. But if I walk towards it, it's going to be the future there. So if I teleport it, depending on what coordinates I am, I could be in different time there. That's so stupid. Just stuff like this, like there's no science behind it. It's just mind-numbing jargon, and these scientists are just running mathematics, and they're like, hey, if this calculation makes sense and it actually works out, then that means that I could actually grow a third penis on my ass if I did a couple jumping jacks and did a handstand. You know what I mean? Like, it just, nothing they say makes sense, right? And I don't know why I said that, but it just came to my mind. And yeah, I was saying, like, looking at the Chinese space agency JAXA's moon landing and our moon landing, or their Russian dark side of the moon, Chinese dark side of the moon, American dark side of the moon, all of them look different. It's like they just do whatever they want, and they know that everyone's so dumb that they're not gonna look into it. They don't even try hard to fake any of this stuff, guys. Like, I've seen them on wires. They're on fucking wires on the ISS. I've seen them. I've seen the ladies who are like supposed to be in 0G, their hair is literally just gelled upward. Like, you just can't get any worse than that. Like, you just can't get any worse than that. It's just embarrassing, guys. And it's embarrassing times we're living in, because you guys don't want to do you guys don't want to do the research. You guys just want to go on your dating apps and your Twitch and your Facebook. I don't know if everyone use that anymore, but your Instagram and your whatever the fuck, Snapchat bullshit. I don't even fucking use any of that crap. And just distract yourselves like retards and watch who threw the ball here and what celebrities getting married over there, and who gives a fuck about these fucking cunt ass deceivers. These Hollywood people, these fucking celebrities, they're fucking leading you guys away from the truth, guys, which is Jesus Christ. And I don't know why I feel like I'm the only one talking about any of this stuff. Like you guys are all fucking deceived. Like, you guys are completely lusting over the flesh, and it's just pretty pathetic. Like, I know it's hard for me too, but fuck, I might be making this video because I'm not like, it's not, you know, I mean, if I had a lot of money, I'd probably be doing a lot of stupid things too. That's why God's like saying, hey, focus, right? But there's so many things, guys, like, that just don't make sense. That don't make sense about flat earth. They don't make sense about, I mean, they don't make sense about the ball earth, and there makes zero sense about space, and it's all connected with the Bible. And these Hollywood people, these stupid celebrities, and music is like just controlling you guys by sex, like, honestly. And like, if you guys listen to the music lyrics, they're getting hella more disturbingly sexually explicit and disgusting, and they're just like no shame with music lyrics nowadays. And the stuff we see on TV, the advertisements, like, I've heard radio advertisements on the new radio about sex toys. Like, it's just shameful. And it doesn't matter about the money. They don't care about the money. They want to get you guys to think about this stuff. That's how Satan works. That's how Satan is real. He's a real entity. He's actually trying to trick us and deceive us all, guys, and waste our time, waste our energies. And I'm pissed off. I feel like I'm a captain in God's army, and I'm trying to get my soldiers lined up and ready to go. I'm gonna go line up these men of God, soldiers of God, and just destroy this deception, because science proves in the Bible. We shouldn't even be afraid to use science to kick the shit out of freaking these guys. Science proves in the Bible. Science proves in evolution. Science proves in creation. Science proves in Jesus Christ and God. Okay, we can go and preach the word of God. We can, but we can also use science, and we can kick their ass with science. Okay, because they don't even know what they're talking about. These guys have no science backing them up. The flights and the navigation, looking at the flight patterns and navigations of looking at flight patterns and seeing how there's an emergency flight from Malaysia or Indonesia to LA, but they're on direct route, but across the Atlantic or South Pacific Ocean, whatever, there's some lady having a baby, so they have to make an emergency landing to Anchorage, Alaska. How the hell would that make sense on a ball earth map? That would be a freaking hell of a ways to go fly up there north. But the truth is, on a flat earth map, it's a fucking right on the way. It's right a perfect stop there. So you guys need to wake up and look at the science. Okay, people are telling a lot of good things. Solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, they don't make sense either. Now, if you guys look at solar eclipses, there's like a penumbra and an umbra. How can the moon shadow get smaller than the size of it is as it is? It's impossible. That the size of the shadow of the earth from the moon should be giant. And people have seen solar eclipses when the moon blocks the sun, but the moon is somewhere else. How is that possible? The sun's doing some weird phase in the sky, and I tell you, it's just doing its phases. Like this, the moon is just doing its own phases. It has its own phases. It's independent. It does these weird things with the half moon and all that stuff, crescent moon, stars and a magnification. We already know that they're all different. They're all, yeah. Oh, just looking at shadows and lighting. Yeah, just looking at lighting, like look at the sun, look at the moon, like look at the sun on a beautiful day, clear day, look at the shadows it makes on on poles and on buildings, and just trace those angles, trace those to the sun. Look at the sun rays, trace them back to the light source, figure out where is the sun, how far is it? It's right there, right in the clouds. Look at the moon on a cloudy night. Look at the full moon on a cloudy night. All the clouds surrounding the moon, but only the clouds close to the moon light up. Why not all of them? So stupid. Aurora Borealis. Yeah, they say it's because of the dynamo effect, because of the Earth spinning. It's creating an because the Earth spinning. It's the molten iron core is creating electromagnetic charge, which is creating a dynamo effect, which is actually reflecting a lot of harmful emissions from the sun. Oh, I'm telling you, that's all bullshit. Okay, so here's some past experiments that prove the flat Earth and that space is bullshit. And they prove the ether. There's an ether. There's no gravity. There's an ether wind. If I had money, I'd be doing these experiments, doing all these experiments, and filming them all, and putting them on YouTube. And then that YouTube channel would be just removed or just hidden, obviously. Like, okay, there are these flight paths of satellites, and they make these like weird, like zigzag kind of like S shapes. You know, they go like they look like a sine wave or something. Like, oh, they go up, they start from up, they travel down, they go up, they go down to the South Pacific, like Antarctica, and then they come up through Peru, they go up to Brazil, they go up through the ocean of the Atlantic, they go up to the United Kingdom, they come down towards Congo. You know, they don't make a straight circular path. They make these weird, and you're always wondering, why do they make these paths, right? But then you plot that, you take like little points, just plot out points on that flight path, and then you take those points and put them on a flat Earth map, and they make perfect concentric circles. Just such evidence that they're fucking lying about everything. And they put the flat Earth map right in our face because that's their spell. They put their magic shit right in our face. They put the spell right in our face. They show the flat Earth map right in the back of the United Nations and the other freaking bodies of government bodies. Fuck. And it's so easy to prove God. It's so easy to prove scripture. Just like even this. Look, listen. If you talk about ancient Chinese, the ancient Chinese language, not current. They don't use this anymore. The ancient Chinese language proves in scripture because they have two words, boat and garden, and both of them, if you break them down in their characters, actually have different words added, like among like different characters that have different words, and they combine to make that one word. Then they actually have stories from the Bible, scriptures. Like example, boat. If you break it down, it has three other pictures, and it means vessel, 8 people. That's the same amount of people, 8 people on one boat for the flood from the Noah's Ark story. Or like the garden was 4. It was like 2 persons, dust, breath, enclosure. That's the exact same Garden of Eden creation story. How did they have that in Chinese language? That's because the people who were creating the first dynasty were actually members, one of the sons of, I think it was Shem from the Noah's Ark. He was the one who came there and populated everything. Or like seeing the sun out of a window of an airplane, and you see the sun is over some clouds and it's making a hot spot. It's impossible, guys. There's no way the sun from 93 million miles away would make a hot spot like that on the clouds. This just shows that it's local, like it's lighting up the clouds around it. Exactly the same thing I was saying. I don't know, it's just so much to go through. Massive fakery part again. Yeah, weather patterns. let this book be my last thing that I do in my life, the most important thing I work on. It's hard, I know. Probably a lot of people in the Bible struggle to do just the one thing they were tasked in doing. I think this is my task, guys. This is my task. I have to finish this book. I have to write it. I have to get it printed and published. Anyway, thanks for watching.